Welcome back to the channel. I'm RJ Ronquillo. If you're new here, thanks for joining me. And by the way, if you're wondering why I pronounce my last name like I do, Ronquillo is the Filipino way of pronouncing Ronquillo. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. So if you clicked on this video, chances are you're interested in Rockman stuff, and that's awesome. I did want to say a big thank you to everyone that's watched my first Rockman video, and if you haven't seen it, I will link it up here and down in the description. But it's been super cool to read the comment section and hear the stories of all you guys that owned the Rockman back in the day or remember seeing him in the music store, as well as the new players out there that are interested in the Rockman stuff. And that being said, it's come to my attention that it's kind of hard to find a Rockman headphone amp like the X100, and if you do find it, it's kind of expensive now. But anyway, the purpose of this video, Get the Rockman Sound Today, is to show you guys there are a couple ways that you can get that same sound and the feel of a real Rockman. Now, a while back, I did do a video comparing the AmpliTube Joe Satriani collection plugin from IK Multimedia, but as of the making of this video, there's actually another plugin that does that Rockman sound, and it's a little bit different than the AmpliTube plugin. And today I wanted to show you guys this new plugin, show you what it does, show you all the features, as well as compare it to the AmpliTube Joe Satriani plugin, and let you guys decide for yourself if they sound like that Rockman tone that we're all trying to get now. And at the end, I'll show you guys which plugin I prefer, and show you guys a really cool way of setting it up for that ultimate Rockman sound of the 80s. And just as a disclaimer, the plugins that I'm going to show you, I bought with my own money, so none of this is sponsored by any of the companies. Okay, so I have my DAW opened up, which is Logic. That's what I use. So the two Rockman plugins I'm going to show you, starting at the bottom, this is the one that we've seen before, that's been around. This is the AmpliTube JS collection, Joe Satriani collection. Within the collection, they have a Rockman plugin they call the Boston 100, and as you can see, it looks like the Rockman headphone amp X100, right? Now, the new one on the block that I just kind of discovered is by a company called Overloud, and this is their THU RockGuy. Now, what I understand is THU is their version of like an AmpliTube style plugin where you get amps, pedals, a lot of outboard gear like delays, reverbs, EQs, compressors. So they're kind of in the same category, like a guitar-based, complete rig plugin. Real quickly, I want to tell you the prices. So the Overloud RockGuy retails for, at this time, it was €49, which in dollars, it comes out to about 53 bucks. The AmpliTube JS collection alone is 50 bucks, so right around the same price point. As far as the similarities in the deals, they both have a free trial, so if you just want to try it out for a little bit, you can just download the plugin and try it out. And if you're not planning on using a computer and want to use it on like your iPad or your mobile, they do offer a mobile version of these plugins. I haven't tried it out yet, but according to the website, they do. I am using this inside of my DAW as a plugin, but there is a way to use it as a standalone, just, you know, loading it on your computer just to jam with. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get either of them to work as a standalone plugin. It's probably something with my audio routing and my interface that I haven't figured out, but it's working perfectly through Logic. So that being said, you could technically use this in a live situation if you brought your laptop to the gig or maybe even your iPad to the gig. And because I get a lot of complaints of talking too much and not playing the guitar, I'm going to just give you a sample of what they sound like. So I've got two similar patches loaded up. On the RockGuy, I've got a patch called Satch Boogie. And on the bottom, obviously this is the Joe Satriani plugin, but I made a patch called Rockman Test. So let's just A/B it real quick, just so you guys can get it in your ears and get excited, and then I'll talk about the features. Here is the RockGuy from Overloud, THU. Now going to the AmpliTube Joe Satriani. That was just a little sound sample to get your ears wet. But let's start with the RockGuy, because I think this is going to be really interesting to you guys. Okay, let me show you guys what it looks like when you first load it up. You kind of have a blank slate here, but looking at the right, you can see these are the items that are included in the RockGuy plugin, and it's quite different than what you see in AmpliTube. Now they do have actually presets. If I click on the banks here, they give you a ton of presets, which I'll go over in a second, but let's check out the modules, the Rockman looking modules. You've got this thing called the RockGuy Sustain, and you got this thing called the RockGuy Chorus. Now, if you remember in my first video, I briefly touched on Schultz R&D. After they started making their Rockman headphone amps, they got into the world of rack-mounted effects, or at least like half-space rack-mounted effects. And they had way more options, more tweakability, more control. Basically a sound that you can get out of a Rockman X100 headphone amp, but you had more parameters that you could tweak as far as like the gain staging, compression, control over, the chorus. Now these little half-space racks were called rock modules. So this is from a website called rockmangearup.com and has all the information you ever want to know about Rockman stuff. But these rock modules, they had things like stereo chorus delay, sustainer, like that we're going to see in the plugin, as well as EQ. There was a distortion generator, MIDI switching systems and all that stuff. But going back to the plugin, the THU RockGuy gives you the RockGuy Sustain, which is essentially the distortion plus compressor of the Rockman sound, and then the chorus delay, which is going to give you the chorus and the echo. And that's probably the biggest difference between the two plugins. The AmpliTube Joe Satriani plugin is kind of your basic X100 style headphone amp configuration. In fact, all of the switches are exactly what you would find on a headphone amp. The RockGuy, on the other hand, is actually modeling the rock modules. They're both kind of the same sound, but like I said, you're going to get way more control with the rock modules because, look at all the sliders you have and all these push buttons, and I'll show you how everything kind of works. But wait, folks, there is more. Along with the RockGuy plugin, when you buy it, you also get some pedals. So a lot of bands or artists would put an overdrive before the rock modules to get a little more gain. So they included a model of like a Boss Super Overdrive pedal, which is super cool. They give you a chorus pedal, digital delay pedal, as well as a VCA compressor, parametric EQ, digital reverb, amp trem. Compared to the AmpliTube Joe Satriani, reminder that the Joe Satriani collection not only comes with the Rockman model, you also get the Sach VM, which is like a Marshall thing, and then you got the SJ50, which is going to be kind of like the EVH type thing. You get Joe Satriani kind of signature amp sounds, as well as Joe Satriani signature pedals that he might use, cabs. So I don't want to sway you just yet, but if you are a diehard Joe Satriani fan, then you might focus more on the AmpliTube Joe Satriani plugin because you get more than just the Rockman stuff. But if you're interested in getting the most out of the Rockman sound and the most tweakability, really, if you just hyper-focus on Rockman, check out the THU Rockman. But let me show you real quick. Let's focus a little bit more on the RockGuy stuff. Okay, so I showed you kind of the Rockman-specific modules that the RockGuy plugin is modeling. But let's scratch all this and check out some of the presets that come preloaded. So, the first preset here, Boston Rhythm. I'm not really playing a Boston song. They made the preset for you, so let's check it out. You got the chorus delay going into the distortion, which is interesting. I think that's how it's wired. And then they give you a little reverb and spice it up with a little EQ, bumping it up there. Maybe I can zoom out here. And you got Boston Solo. So they add a digital delay for you. And this one doesn't have the chorus. So cool. Next patch is Hysteria. Though I wonder what that's about. Sounds pretty amazing. And this one, you got the chorus delay plus the sustainer, which doesn't have any overdrive on it, and then heavily compressed using the VCA compressor, digital delay. That's it. That's Hysteria. And by the way, I highly suggest listening to this with headphones or through some really nice speakers, stereo, because the stereo effect that you're gonna get, you'll be able to hear what I'm hearing, and it sounds so lush. Next one, ZZ Top. That's right, they used this on Afterburner. Heavy delay there. I'm not sure what song that's supposed to model. We heard Satch Boogie, right? Okay, so the next plugin is Kiss. I have a feeling this is not the hottest band in the land, but yeah, very snappy. And then moving on, you've got patches specifically for Les Paul, humbuckers, Bright Clean, Sus Clean, Crystal Clean Strat, Landa Clean. I'm assuming that's kind of like a Michael Landau thing. Ooh, let's see. You know I was going to play that. So real quickly, let's just take a look at some of the controls of these modules. Rockman sustain, RockGuy chorus. Now, see how they're stacked this way? I think you can flip them around so you've got the chorus delay going into the sustainer, or however you want to. Can you put them side by side? No. Okay, so let's zoom in here a little bit. Starting with the RockGuy sustain. The first little module section here is the preamp compressor. You've kind of got like a volume, initial volume, sustain longer. This basically is your compression level. So this is the compressor right at the input. So it's smashing down your signal right at the get-go. I believe the arrows or these little carrots kind of denote the normal settings. Now we have a gate here if you'd like to use it. I hear like a little high-end pitch thing. Let's move it up there, try to get rid of it. It's annoying. It's probably just all my lights and all my camera stuff. Okay, moving to everything that we wanted to hear. Distortion filters. So much like on the X100 headphone amp, kind of like down here, if we compare it to the Joe Satriani thing, we've got clean 2, clean 1, edge, and distortion. Clean 2 is always going to be that really crystal clear almost like a piezo acoustic pickup sound. Clean 1 is going to mimic, I think it's supposed to mimic like a clean amplifier. And then edge and distortion are obviously going to be your gains. Now that doesn't sound right. That sounds a little too muddy, but we haven't adjusted the other stuff yet. Distortion. So that's a little more gain, obviously. So let's hang out there for a minute. You can see these little pointers here. You can boost. You can use this boost button to boost the 2 distortion modes. I have no idea what the AUC is. I'm not going to look it up. And then SEC, if we go down to clean 1. I don't know, but I like it popped out. And just so you know, my favorite sounds on a Rockman basically are clean 2 and then distortion. The edge and clean 1, they're cool, but those 2 are what I use all the time. There's some more tweakability on the edge and the distortion channels. You've got this treble trim. So if I'm on edge, and I've got the boost in actually, it kind of adds a little more top end gain. So now we're getting closer to that awesome Rockman sound, maybe even a little bit better. You can flip the phase. And then here you've got a little bit of an EQ thing. Treble boost. Well, let's actually start with the frequency. So here the caret says leave it here, but you can adjust it. It's not making a huge difference, so I'm just going to leave it on the caret. But the treble boost for sure. I mean, you can make it muddier, but they recommend keeping it all the way up. I recommend that too. And then you've got an output volume. Extra gain stage volume. Keep it between 0 and 5 for now. So that's just, that's your gain sound. That's a great Rockman distortion sound, that really nasally. Okay, let's turn on the chorus delay module. Starting on the left, you've got drive level, line level. I think this is exactly like the real hardware module. I'm going to keep it on 0, but if I move it up to 10, it's a little bit more prominent. So keep it on 0. Now, this big section here, I kind of played around with before. So there are 3 modes. So if we go to this mode select button, you've got this mode, which kind of a basic chorus thing. If you click it in, then you've got this section, which I believe is the delay section. And the way that it's set right now, it almost sounds like a chorus because it's such a quick delay time. And we'll tweak it in a minute, but then you press it again, and then you can have both the chorus and the delay section. So let's go back to just the chorus section. The controls you've got this sweep speed, which I'll just play around with so you can hear. So it kind of adjusts the rate of the chorus. And it's pretty minimal. With this thing, it doesn't go too crazy. But then if you click into this long norm button, then you get a little bit more movement in the waveform. A little more pitch shifting, detuning, and all that stuff. Let's keep it in the norm. But then move on to this delay section. Like I said, it kind of sounds like a chorus, but if we play around with the delay time, now we're starting to get into like slapback territory. And then if we press in the long, this is the maximum amount of delay that this thing does. So it's not really supposed to be, you know, a delay, a digital delay or whatever, analog delay thing. It's more specifically kind of like a slapback thing. I mean, that's pretty short. So feedback, which is the amount of repeats. So yeah, delay volume. It's funny, when you turn all the way down, it's still there. It's not like completely zero. It just puts it at the minimum that you would ever want to use it. But then you can put them together, chorus and this delay. I like it as a slap delay. Let's do it here. Long, maybe here. And that's, you know, that's a sound that you can't get out of the headphone amp. You can't get that out. Can't get that out of an X100. You'd have to add additional effects to it. So that's pretty cool. Put on your headphones for this. So I'm not sure what these lights do, but this plays around with the stereo field. So I'll just play and show you these. I'm pointing like you can see what I'm pointing at. These things right here. Did you hear? Did you hear it get wider? That's the widest. I don't know it's... Oh, sussed. That's almost like a mono signal. Equal would be kind of like equally on the left and right. Norm. And then wide. And then you've got okay, so this, I believe, plays around with the delay and goes from like, left to right, left to right. That's interesting. Okay, I get it now. So it almost puts the guitar signal more on the right side, at least on my headphones, and then puts the delay on the left more. So if I crank it, I like it right here. So that's, that's a great starting place. I was kind of playing and I wanted to hear a little bit more gain, so what I'll do is I'll put the S Drive 1 in front. That's what I wanted. Like I said, you have all these other effects that you can put on. A delay, you can put another delay at the end. Let's zoom in. What is this? Yeah, and then this has a stereo delay that pans left and right. The bounce ping pongs left and right. Let's go to clean 2 real quick. Okay, so real quickly, I did want to touch again on the AmpliTube Joe Satriani because I think it's worth taking a look at because it's a little more simpler. You know, if maybe you don't want the tweakability that comes with the THU RockGuy, maybe you just want something, you know, with a couple sounds that does this, you know, the Rockman sound that we all look for. And like I said, it's just that model of the headphone amp, X100. And, you know, I can add other outboard processing like EQs and compression and delays and reverbs. And some of them, you know, I can't get on the RockGuy. For instance, the shimmer. I can also put an overdrive in front if I choose to. So in actuality, there are a lot of similarities tonally that you can get with these things. Now, obviously, the tweakability in the RockGuy plugin, you can't really compare it to the AmpliTube Joe Satriani. It's kind of apples and oranges, but sonically, I think they're right on par with each other. They both, you know, have that Rockman tone. If you are wondering which one I recommend, to tell you the truth, I recommend both. If you can afford it, get both. Because the way that I've been using it actually for recording sessions lately is I use both on 2 different tracks. So I have an instance of the RockGuy and an instance of Satriani, the AmpliTube Satriani, running at the same time on 2 separate tracks. Can you see that? I already recorded some stuff. But I have one pan to the left, the RockGuy, and then the AmpliTube pan to the right, and together, working in tandem as a team, it's the most glorious sound you'll ever hear. Let's listen, shall we? So this is both Rockman plugins at the same time. Now you might be hearing some additional effects on there, and I'll show you what exactly I've done within my Logic routing, and you can probably do the same thing in Pro Tools or Ableton, Cubase, whatever. Let's pull up the mixer real quick. The first two are the channels that I have the plugins on, the RockGuy and then the AmpliTube. I actually have both of them bussing out to another channel, so I can kind of combine them on this guitar bus here, and I actually EQ'd it a little bit. I brought down, you know, some of the low end and tweaked some of the high end. And then I've got this guitar bus channel busing to more effects. These effects aren't part of these plugins, so you have to get them separately. But on one track, I've got a Lexicon 224 model from UAD for that digital reverb. Just a really nice classic studio reverb. And then on this one, I've got delay. This is, I guess it's a stereo delay from Arturia. Oh, that's so good. That's so sweet. Let's check it out with the clean tones real quick. So that's it. I hope this video wasn't too long, but in a nutshell, get both of the plugins, you'll be happy. All right, guys, there you have it. If you're interested in any of these plugins, I'll have the links down in the description. And if you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear them, so leave them down below. If you enjoyed this video, please click that thumbs up, share it with your family and your friends. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, gear demos and guitar lessons, click that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. I'm RJ Ronquillo, and I'll see you in the next video.